Hi, my name is Lisa, and welcome to my BAB 100 business plan presentation. Today, I'm presenting Skyframe Media, an aviation media company I've designed from the ground up as part of the Build Your Own Business project. Over the next few minutes, I'll walk you through the business idea, the market it serves, how it's structured and financed, and how I plan to manage the risks that come with starting it. Let's get into it. Skyframe Media is an aviation media company based in Peterborough, Ontario. In one sentence, we produce photography, videography, drone footage, and social content, but only for aviation businesses, flight schools, charter companies, maintenance shops, aircraft owners, and event organizers. The business launches with $30,000 budget, $15,000 of my own savings, and $15,000 small business loans, with $5,000 of that held back as a safety net for the first year. Next, our vision and mission statements. Why Skyframe Media exists. These two statements anchor everything else in the plan. The vision is the long-term destination. I want Skyframe Media to be the name people think of first when an aviation business in Canada needs visual content. Not just a photographer, a company that understands the industry from the inside. The mission is what we actually do day to day. Photography, videography, drone media, and digital content delivered to a very specific list of clients: flight schools, aircraft owners, flying clubs, maintenance organization, charter companies, and event organizers. Notice that mission statement doesn't say we do photography for anyone. It is deliberately narrow because that narrowness is the strategy. Here is the gap I saw. Aviation businesses have historically grown through the word of mouth and referrals, and that still works, but a lot of them are stuck with outdated websites, old photos, and social media that hasn't been touched in a while. Meanwhile, more and more customers are researching a business online before we even call them. Skyframe Media exists to close that gap, but with a twist. Instead of being a general photographer who occasionally shoots an airplane, I work only in aviation. That means I already understand airport environments, aviation technology, and the safety expectations that come with working around aircrafts, so clients aren't paying to educate me in their own industry. My client list is focused and intentional: flight schools, flying clubs, aircraft owners, maintenance organizers, charter companies, and aviation event organizers. These are all organizations that need to look credible online, but don't have an in-house marketing team. I want to be upfront about both sides of this business. On the strength side, the aviation specialization is the whole point. It keeps the operating costs low as a home-based business, and the flexible packages let me work with a small flying club or a larger charter company without a one-size-fits-all price. The honest sweetness: I'm new, so there's no brand recognition yet. The first year portfolio will be small, and since it's just me, there is a real capacity limit on how many projects I can run at once. On opportunities, digital marketing demand keeps growing industry-wide, which supports the Ontario, then Canada expansion plan, and recurring monthly content packages give me more of a predictable income than one-off projects. I chose to structure Skyframe Media as a sole proprietorship, and I want to justify that beyond just it's cheap. First, practically. It's inexpensive to set up, simple to operate, and I can make decisions quickly without needing to consult a partner or shareholders. For a startup with a tight $30,000 budget, that matters. Second, and just as important, it fits where I am personally right now. I'm launching this while finishing school, I don't have a business partner, and I don't need outside investors at this stage. A sole proprietorship lets me keep full creative control over the brand while I build out that first portfolio. The trade-off is unlimited liability. Legally, I am the business. I'm managing that risk directly with business insurance, written service agreements on every project, and staying compliant with drone and safety regulations. If the business scales up significantly down the road, incorporation is something I'd revisit. As for our organizational structure, you can see that right now every box on this chart is me. Client relations means I'm the one responding to inquiries and running consultations. Media production is the actual photography, videography, editing, and drone work. Business administration covers scheduling, invoicing, and marketing. I laid it out this way on purpose. Even as a one-person business, defining these three functions now means it's clear exactly which responsibilities transfer to a future hire, instead of figuring that out after someone's already on staff. That first hire is planned for somewhere in a year to 2 years, time specifically to support the Ontario expansion, a part-time photographer or videographer. Beyond that, freelance specialists like graphic designers or web developers get brought in project by project rather than hired permanently, which keeps costs flexible while the business is still proving itself. Operationally, this is a home office plus on-location business. Administrative work, scheduling, editing, invoicing, file storage, this all happens from a home office in Peterborough, which keeps overhead low. The actual photography and videography happens wherever the client is, airports, flight schools, aviation events, across Ontario. Every project follows the same 8-step workflow, and I built it that way so clients know exactly what to expect. An inquiry comes in, we do an initial consultation, I send a quote and service agreement, then plan the project, do the shoot, edit and review the material internally, send it to the client for their review, and deliver the final files digitally. Because this is a service business, there is no inventory to manage. My resources are camera, lenses, drones, editing software, and cloud storage, purchased from authorized Canadian retailers. And because drones are involved, every flight is done in compliance with Transport Canada's drone safety regulations. That's a non-negotiable, both for safety and for legal risks. Skyframe Media launches on a $30,000 budget, split evenly between $15,000 of my own savings and a $15,000 small business loan. Within that $30,000, $5,000 is set aside specifically as an emergency reserve. It's not extra money on top of the $30,000, it's part of it held back for the unexpected. On the spending side, the two biggest line items are camera equipment and lenses at $8,000 and website plus initial marketing at $3,200. Drone equipment, an editing computer, insurance, and working capital round out the rest. I built this budget around what the business actually needs to start producing professional work on day one, not around the nice to haves. Next, I want to cover the revenue and 3-year outlook. So these revenue numbers here aren't just a guess, they're built from 3 specific service lines. 12 photography and video packages a year at $1,500 each gets around $18,000. 4 ongoing monthly content clients at $600 a month brings in $28,800, which is actually the single biggest driver of year 1 revenue. And 4 event coverage bookings at $1,300 each adds another $5,200. Add it up and you get $52,000 in year 1, which matches the number in my 3-year projection. From there, the chart on the right shows the trajectory. Revenue climbing from $52,000 to $98,000 by year 3. Expenses growing more slowly than revenue and net profit roughly tripling from $13,000 to $37,000. That gap between revenue growth and expense growth is intentional. It comes from leaning more on recurring monthly clients instead of constantly chasing one-off projects. My target customer is a small to medium aviation organization that knows they should have a strong visual marketing, but don't have the time or maybe equipment or in-house staff to actually produce it. That is a very specific, very findable customer within the aviation community. Geographically, I'm rolling this out in stages. First, Peterborough and the surrounding area, then expanding across Ontario in years 2 and 3, then finally across Canada in years 4 and 5. And on positioning, I'm not trying to win on price. I'm competing on the fact that I understand this industry better than a generalist would, and that I'll be dependable. The 4 P's break down like this. The product is the full range of aviation media services. Price is value-based rather than lowest bid. Place is on-location shoots with digital delivery, and promotion leans on the website and Instagram and LinkedIn. Referrals and then actually showing up to aviation events to network in person. To make buying simple, I've packaged services into 4 tiers. A photography-only package starts at $500 for straightforward aircraft or facility shoots. A photo and video package, which pairs photography with a short promotional video, starts at $1,500. Event coverage for things like fly-ins or open houses start at $1,300. And then the one I have highlighted right under here, the monthly content package at $600 a month is the one doing the most work for the business financially. It's why the recurring revenue engine, and it's why I can build a more predictable income instead of hunting for one-off projects every month. Clients aren't locked into long-term contracts, so it's low commitment for them, but it gives me a steady cash flow, and that's what the startup actually needs. Every new business carries a risk, and as a bank manager reading this plan, you want to see that I've actually thought it through rather than just hoping for the best. So I see 5 risks that stand out to me. Inconsistent client demand, especially early on, is managed with that $5,000 emergency reserve and by prioritizing repeat clients and recurring packages over one-off work. Equipment damage or theft is covered through insurance, regular maintenance, and backing files up in more than one place. Poor weather, which really can shut down an outdoor shoot, is managed with flexible scheduling. If a shoot gets rained out, the day becomes an editing day instead. Competition from bigger established media companies is real, and I'm not going to outprice them. I'm going to out-specialize them. And legal or contractual work risk is handled the boring but necessary way. Written agreements on every project, proper insurance, and full compliance with Transport Canada drone regulations. And that's Skyframe Media, an aviation media company built on one core idea: specialization beats generalization. Thank you.